Guys, the Philadelphia 76ers are kind of in a tailspin right now. I mean, I think Maxey has played great so far. Embiid played great last game, but the chaos with Harden going on and with Morey, it just there's a cloud over the organization, And I think it's just not going to end well. We'll see what happens with Harden. I just don't think there's a good resolution where you get an equal turn or even close to it. And if he comes back, what are you just going to run back the same roster that has not been able to have any success? I don't know. It's kind of weird. So, if this is a hot topic among us. I think we're all at a consensus that the 76ers should restart, either rebuild or retool or whatever. And then obviously there was that Knicks package that was circulating. So I think we're going to talk about that for a little bit. I got some trade packages. I think there was a Heat one that we wanted to discuss. So let's just start. About the Knicks trade package. Obviously it was Mitchell Robinson, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and then I think what, 3 first round picks, something like that. Do you guys like that trade package for the Sixers?
For the Sixers, I think it's solid. I don't
Mm.
think it's a bad one at all, just because. So, here's my opinion. I don't know. I think you want to get Joel out of there. I think you want to get Harden out of there. I know Joel is reigning MVP. I know he's scoring champ. Those are all really big accomplishments, and obviously he's talented, he's dominant. But then again, at the same time, we've seen him be this dominant for what? How long at least? 4 seasons. Pretty much since he's been healthy, we've seen him be dominant. Not this dominant, but we've seen him be just about this level of dominance for just about 4 seasons, and still really no. For one, almost never. They've been a few times. They've been kind of considered contenders. They've always fallen short. Never made a finals appearance, and only even made an Eastern Conference Finals appearance. What, one time?
No, I don't think they even
They
made
didn't
it.
make it
Or
against the Raptors. Against the Raptors.
no, that was still semifinals.
Still second. Oh my. See,
Yeah.
but it felt like an Eastern Conference Finals game.
It
Game
did. I
seven.
mean, I think the winner of that game would have probably. It doesn't matter though.
Either way, but it just little success, and a lot of that has fallen on Joel Embiid. He has not been that force. He has not been that guy in, I would say, the majority of his playoff games, and that's very disappointing from a guy of that talent. I will probably get into it in a second anyway, but I have my personal opinions about Joel and his play style. But I think he brings a lot of value to certain teams and potentially the Knicks. But right now, analyzing the Sixers, I think it's good for them get him out of there. Morey just said, or supposedly, according to sources, that Maxey is the future, a next superstar. They play a lot better without Harden. That's nothing in regard to Embiid, but again, I believe the same thing. I believe Maxey is going to be a superstar. He is I think, unarguably one of the top 10 guys under the age of 25 right now. And I think in 3 years, his ceiling's only higher. I like Melton, who they've got. They still have to buy his Harris too. He's still a baller, as he might have money connected to him
Yeah.
and might be a little older. He is still there regardless. Paul Reed has been honestly solid. And if you get those guys, Mitchell Robinson, all of a sudden, you mean if you got Paul Reed and Mitchell Robinson, now you knock that with a punch with Randall and with Barrett. For one, it shows a really good team, and now you throw in right your shots at a first rounder. So you're taking some of those younger guys. Bear's still pretty young. Randall's not super old either. Maxi, and you're adding potential, right? If you look at right now, they'll still be probably good. They're probably still the second round or first round exit team, so they're not really digressing very much from what they were before. And now you still get the value of, right, if they draft well, they have 3 shots at a superstar here pretty much in the next few seasons,
Yeah.
potentially. So I think it's not. I don't really think it's a bad move. I don't know if it's the best move if they were going to trade Joel, but I'm not hating it.
No, yeah.
Person. Oh wait, go ahead.
Uh, I just think they should build around Maxi because, or like, I think they should build around Maxi and trade Joel Harden. They actually keep Tobias Harris. He's kind of like a vet, but he still can ball really nicely. I think he would be nice for Maxi. They got that teammate connection and just build around them kind of, especially Maxi. And you can get a lot for Joel and Harden, or not maybe as much Harden right now. But you can definitely get a lot off Joel, and we've seen what Max can do. He scored 34, 31 already. Um, he's just super great. As one said, top 10 under 25, I don't know. I don't think there's much more to add to that.
Yeah, and I was already high on Maxey with Harden leaving. Personally, he overachieved what I thought he would do. He's averaging 32 and a half points, 7.5 assists with half a turnover and 5 rebounds. That's absurd. Way better than
Those
I
are
thought he
those
would
are
do.
those are MVP caliber numbers, right? If he obviously, I'm not expecting him to do this all season, but were he to do this all season, those are MVP caliber numbers. Like that's very very impressive. He's looking right now an All Star run, and he was. I mean, right now he's probably the second guy on the team, but he was the third guy on the team. So and we saw him be very successful and capable at that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to my point, how would he perform with Joel Embiid, the reigning MVP, who has like 40% ball touches off the team, where they play more team ball and he will be looked at as the first guy instead of the second guy? Maybe, I mean, he probably still gets some first guy looks, but he's overall still the second guy.
I
You
think
like that? You like the trade value though from the Knicks?
I think the value for Joel Embiid, I think it's definitely in that trade. I don't think it would be an unfair trade for the Sixers in return.
You like that for the Sixers? You think they should do it?
I think definitely. I mean, I don't know what they've said on it, but I definitely wouldn't immediately go to no, we're not doing that. I would definitely look into that and see what they could run with that and see if they could like think of some nice plays before they do the trade and how they could run the roster and play with that.
I just at the same time, I don't think Maxey is ready to take the #1 role. I think he's really good at the #2 spot, and that's why he's doing so great. Is because he's not the main guy focused on. Right now, it's Joel, and Joel could still score 34 as your team last night.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's ready for that. So Randall could be nice, but I don't think they're getting enough out of that for
So yeah.
Joel.
Yeah, I actually like how kind of the Tyrese and Embiid dynamic has worked. I think Tyrese is handling it a lot. He's shooting a lot, obviously. I like how it works so far. The pick and roll has been great. But I'm still in that trade Embiid trade train. I don't think this is the core that's going to do it for you. Um Obviously Embiid's aging and you want to get maximum value. I don't like the Knicks trade though, because I feel like I mean, so obviously Embiid is, he's an MVP, he's a scoring champ, all that. And he's obviously still an elite defender, but I just feel like if you make this trade, you're just taking a lateral step. Yeah, you said it too. There's still like a first to second round exit type team. You're not really getting a young star in that trade. There's not a ton of room for like a potential breakout guy in that deal, which is something I always would want in a trade for a guy Joel Embiid's caliber. Obviously Max, he still has the potential to, keep elevating. Obviously, he could be in for like a John Morant SGA type year where he went from like, borderline all-star to just superstar. But if I'm doing a trade, which a lot of the trades I cooked up are similar to this, I want a young star in return, and you're just not getting that in the next package. It's just a lateral step to me, and it doesn't. Obviously, the draft picks are nice, but it just doesn't uh accelerate your future at all.
I generally agree with you for it not being the best value you can get, and so I want to hear your other packages. The only thing I say about lateral step, I agree as far as the now there'll be a lateral step, and to me that's an advantage because you're actually moving upwards because you get those first round. So in 2 or 3 years, it will certainly be an improvement because you'll have those guys drafted,
Yeah,
first
but
round pick. That's what I mean by it's not lateral because right now you're lateral, and then you're gonna add three first round talents onto that roster right now. So this is going to be a better team. But I do agree. I don't think it's the best value they can get, and I think if they were to trade Joel, I think they can get better value for the
so
now
but
future.
also those first round talents are going to be in like the late 20s because the Knicks are going to be good with Joel. I mean, they may not have playoff success, but they're always going to be a good regular season team. With Embiid. Yeah, I just think if you're going to go and trade Embiid, I like with similar to the Kevin Durant deal, you got Mikal Bridges, a guy that was emerging. The Paul George deal, you got Shea, a guy that was emerging. And if you're not getting a guy like that in this package, I mean, RJ Barrett's been pretty good this year, but I just don't see him being that type of guy. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that deal unless it's like a different team's
Okay.
pick. you know. But yeah.
Let's see what you got cooking, bro. What kind of
All right. So the first trade, I think you guys are going to like this one. Maybe you may hate it. I don't know. So it's kind of a weird deal. It's 76ers and Lakers. It's Anthony Davis, Jalen Hood-Schifino, a 2029 first round pick for Joel Embiid.
I hate it.
You hate it?
Oh yeah, I hate it. For in large part for both teams, honestly.
Mm, okay.
How many first round picks?
One.
Oh, yeah, I really hate that. Really hate that. AD is not young. AD has right now shown he's been struggling already with consistency with injuries. So I think you're really at this point taking a lateral, if not a downgrade. I mean, right now, I mean, Embiid is the reigning MVP. AD is certainly not. He's never won an MVP. I don't know how old is AD? Anyone? I don't know if we can look it up real quick, but
AD's
he
like
is
30.
certainly not. Well, how old?
I think he's 30. I think him and Embiid are like the same age.
It's pretty similar to them, but I mean, he's a little bit older. He's got his own injury concerns, and I don't really see him really elevating that team, if at all. I think really do downgrade. At least Embiid, at least in the regular season, obviously he falls out. We don't even see AD doing that consistently. And you're only getting one first round pick. I mean, you're getting Jalen Hood-Schifino, who is
So
actually a late 20 round pick, like late 20 pick. Like we talk about the Knicks, at least you get three of those. Where this you're getting one. You got to hit once. You got one chance to hit a good guy, and it's not even a lottery pick. So I don't like this one at all. I think and for the Lakers, by the way, I don't like it either.
oh, well, why not for the Lakers?
For the Lakers, I don't think Embiid is what they're needing. Like you said, they were kind of looking stagnant on offense. Embiid is not a guy known to make offense less stagnant. He can make it better in the fact that he could score the ball more consistently than AD. So in that way, it could be. I'm sure that team would be still again a second round or Western Conference Finals team. So it's good. It's not like the Lakers are obviously going to suck. I just don't think it really elevates them to where they want to be.
Mm,
Don't think it does that for them. And yeah, I don't like it.
yeah. Marvin Valentin, any thoughts?
I honestly don't really have anything to add. I think Lauren nailed it. A pretty lateral move. I think both teams obviously kind of stay where they're at. Davis obviously has great talent, but then you're losing the MVP for and one of the top bigs easily in the league right now. A super young guy who probably won't get minutes for a few seasons. He's playing the same position that your star player at that point, or your top two players will be playing. Um, and then the pick obviously is in like 5 years too. So it just seems like a pretty odd trade to me, to be honest.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
actually kind of like it for the Sixers, but I think it's horrible for the Lakers. Uh, Joel will come into that team and think he's the number one guy. That's not gonna fly. LeBron is the number one guy.
Guys, I don't think that's true. I mean,
I
like,
think it is true, but I think it'd actually be good for the Lakers because they want
yeah.
AD to be the number
No,
one guy.
no, like I think it's true. Joel Embiid would be the first option, but I don't think it'd be bad for the Lakers.
Yeah, the only problem is another issue it doesn't solve for the Lakers. They want AD to take that leadership. He has
Yeah.
not taken that leadership, and Embiid, based on what we've seen, he would not take that leadership either. He would play a pretty similar kind of role on the court, a bigger role. He would go down on the court, but as far as like this leadership is concerned, like overall leadership, he wouldn't bring anything more than AD does,
Mhm.
and that's kind of something the Lakers want because obviously LeBron is very near the end of his career. And so they're kind of looking. They always say LeBron today is AD's team. They all say it. We all know it's not true. AD still hasn't taken that role really.
Yeah.
And I don't think Joel would take that. Or he would take that role kind of on the court as a scorer. But besides that, he wouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. All right, Marvin, you're gonna love this one. So, all right. So it's 76ers and Pacers. Uh,
Oh, oh, oh.
I got Miles Turner, Buddy Hield, Ben Mathurin, three first round picks for Joel Embiid.
All right, I mean,
Buddy Hield, Ben Matthews, three first round picks.
Hmm?
since you called me out on it, I guess I'll start. I honestly, for the Sixers, I think that would be a great package.
Yeah.
Um,
I agree.
Buddy Hield, obviously, super great 3-point shooter. Turner, you'd be getting a center back, young and upcoming, great defense, great offense. Matherin, really young too, showing good things, and then 3 first rounders. I think for the Sixers, that's honestly a great trade. I don't like Embiid that much. I like the Pacers, so I wouldn't be too happy with the in general Embiid to the Pacers. And I'm curious to how Embiid would play out with Halliburton. I think Halliburton would give him a chance, obviously, with the way he plays. But I mean, that'd be interesting. But Lauren, what was your
Oh,
comment?
sorry, maybe I misunderstood. Turner is in the trade or no?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay, I thought he wasn't. So that was like,
Oh yeah. Yeah, that'd be a weird fit. Um, but
I
yeah,
kind of like it for both teams. I think Pacers could take away one of those first rounds just because they're giving up Buddy Hield, who's a great player, and Ben Mathurin, who's a young player and who's already shown crazy good talent. Um, but I think Halliburton and Joel could be really nice. And then they have Neesmith and a couple other guys that I really like. You have Drews Walker.
Toppin, Bruce
Yeah,
Brown.
Walker. I don't know. I think for both teams it fits really well.
yeah. I mean, yeah, this is probably my favorite trade that I made. Obviously, I think it works well for both teams. Like I said, you get that young star that you're wanting in Mathurin. He had an up and down rookie year, but I think overall it was positive. And then you're not losing a ton of. I think you're still a playoff team. You get a
Oh, yeah.
top 10 center, Miles Turner. You get one of the best shooters in the league in Buddy Hield. You still have a great offense. You still got a great defense. You're not losing much there. Obviously, you're losing Joel Embiid, which is big. But and then you also get the 3 first round picks. And then for the Pacers, this is more of a deal like, okay, yeah, we're ready to compete. If we get that second superstar next to Hallie, obviously, I mean, for all the turmoil, Harden and Embiid were a great duo. I mean, I like,
and I think Hallie would fit a lot better. He's a little
yeah,
bit better of a leader. And despite obviously Harden gets those assists too, he's a very crafty passer. I feel like I don't know. I like the Halliburton fit actually better than the Harden fit.
yeah, I'm with you. I mean, we saw it like, especially with Team USA. Not Maxi. Halliburton is capable of playing the off-ball role and the on-ball role. And we saw it in Sacramento as well. But yeah, so I think it would work even better. The pick and roll would still be crazy. Uh, I think the defense wouldn't take a huge dip, and the Pacers still have a ton of depth on that team. So I don't think they would. I mean, I think the wing depth would suffer a little bit, but otherwise, I don't think it's that bad.
I agree.
I mean honestly, the more I think about it, I'm looking for like a hole just to make sure I go over it. I think the biggest hit is definitely the depth. But the more I think about for both teams, I really like the deal. You kind of go into a sort of lateral move for like for the present time for the Sixers, which is not a bad thing at all. Like that's great. But Mathurin, like he's likely only developing more. Like he had a really, really good rookie
Yeah.
season coming off the bench, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, could have been a six man of the year, the most 20 plus points off the bench the entire last season, more than anyone in his rookie year. So he is great. He can do it all a little bit too. He reminds me actually kind of a Maxi in a lot of ways. So it'll be a little bit interesting to have those guys play together, but I think it would work really well. Miles Turner's great. I feel like I always want to say he's got a lot more potential, but at his age and with his injuries, I don't think really he does. I think he's gonna hit his ceiling. But he's great. He's got a lot of talent, and then you get 3 first rounders with all of that. So I mean I think it's a pretty good deal, honestly. And I mean I could see both teams really being a fan of this. Pacers all in should be a good duo. I mean it really is scary to look at a Halliburton and Embiid duo just like it was in the Sixers, but I feel like it would work even better. I feel like they'd be a lot more, I guess, energized, happy playing together, and they kind of if Embiid ever kind of, especially in the playoffs, if he happens to not really show up, Halliburton can really kind of also he's no problem kind of taking over and still hitting him on lobs or trying to feed him how he can. He's a really great floor general, so I think it's a good fit. Honestly, I really like that one.
All right, good stuff. All right, this one is another interesting one. The Sacramento Kings. Obviously they had their breakout year, but we saw in the playoffs, Domantas Sabonis kind of got exposed. I mean, he started the year great again, but I don't know how much we can trust him in the playoffs. So this is Joel Embiid to the Kings for Domantas Sabonis, Keegan Murray, and 4 first-round picks.
How much more can you trust Joel though in the playoffs?
I mean, a little more than Sabonis.
I want to put this out here. great deal for the Sixers. I mean, if they got this, I think they should and would accept this in a heartbeat. For the Kings, I have more doubts, personally, but I'll put that out there to start.
Mhm.
This is horrible for the Kings. Fantastic for the Sixers.
Horrible's a little strong, I think.
Four first rounders. Keegan Murray, who's still developing. We've seen what he can already do. Demontis Sabonis is a great center, especially in the regular season. I just think it's way too much to give enough.
Well, you got to give up a lot to get Embiid, obviously. You
Yeah,
got
I
to
mean,
overpay.
I don't think the Sixers would take a less in that package.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would certainly, if I was the Kings, like four first rounders
It,
for Embiid, that's a lot in its own. And to me, Demontis Sabonis, I mean, he was exposed last year, so I see why they would want Embiid for sure. I think the Embiid fit with the Kings is generally a good idea.
Yeah.
I just think they lose so much. I think they lose Keegan Murray, who is already great as a rookie. He's a great future. I think he has the potential to be really good. He looks a little bit shy sometimes on the court, but honestly, like right now he's looked at just like a kind of a pop 3-point shooter. But I feel like he's capable of a lot more if you look at his college tape and his athleticism and things like that, and his defense, but uh where his length. But if you lose him, which is basically like I mean, it's just lottery pick just like recently. He's great, and then you lose four first rounders and Demontis Sabonis. I mean, he's not. I don't know how old he is. Like probably around Embiid's age. I wouldn't be surprised. But I mean, he was great. He was almost averaging a triple double himself. He
Yeah.
really anchored. He honestly anchored that offense. Which in that case, the Kings would look really different. In that case, I don't even know. I feel like I don't know if it would help them that much because all that playmaking that you gain and then they have from Sabonis, right? Fox was a point guard and doing all the playmaking, but really they ran through all through Sabonis, right? He'd either go score it himself or you go find a guy and they're popping threes all day long and that electric, fast paced ball moving offense. You lose a lot of that with him. You really would. There's a lot more feed and him kind of going to work in the paint. So I actually, yeah, I don't know if I really like that at all.
I don't.
Yeah. Well,
I like De'Aaron Fox as the number one guy. Joel Embiid would take that away from De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox, I don't think will be as effective because his ball twitchers will be a lot less. Uh, I just don't see him working out with anyone
guys,
else.
I don't like this narrative of Joel Embiid takes the ball away from his point guards. His point guards historically are very successful, first of all. And then also, second of all, putting Keegan Murray in this deal, it sucked. I didn't really see another avenue. First for the money to work. And then secondly, there's not another player that's I don't think valuable enough to throw in that deal for the Kings. That's making the correct amount of money. Um, but yeah, I think the hope would be that Joel just takes the bonus role to like the maximum, you know. Uh, but I mean, I guess that's the hope I think for that type of deal. But again, it's not my favorite deal. If I'm the Sixers though, I'm taking that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of the thing, though. Exactly. I think you got it. Like the hope is he would take kind of that Sabonis role, and that's exactly my issue. With Jokic, yes, Jokic is a better version of Sabonis.
Yeah.
With Embiid, you get all that scoring, you get better defense, you get better rebounding, but you are losing a little bit of that playmaking, and that is because Sabonis is what probably top two playmaking or top three playmaking center. So that's where the offense does change a little bit. That's where a lot of value kind of lost to
Yeah.
for the Kings. So for what they lose.
All right. So this next one's probably the weirdest, probably the dumbest, probably the most or the least likely to happen. But it's with the Cavs. So I want to hear Valentin's thoughts. This is Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen for Joel Embiid and DeAnthony Melton.
No picks.
No picks. I mean, the Cavs don't have any picks. So
I mean, wait, so say again, Donovan Mitchell and who from the Cavs?
Jared Allen for Joel Embiid and DeAnthony Melton.
All right.
I kind of don't like it.
Cavs, not bad. Sixers, bad.
You don't like it for the Sixers?
No, because you
Yeah,
got Donovan Mitchell and you've already got Maxey, all those young guys. You're
you're
not
just
gaining.
stacking up on guards.
All right, that's
It,
not necessarily a bad thing.
it is, especially because Donovan Mitchell is not really a playmaker. You kind of got two guys doing the same thing. One of them's younger, one of them's gonna be a free agent anyway. You're not getting anything for your future, and you're losing Embiid. It's like kind of almost like, would you rather take Mitchell or Embiid? And
Well,
that's
but you're also
honestly
getting
not.
Jared Allen, but
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
you got Maxey.
Yeah, so for the rationale for I'll just start with the Sixers. Obviously, you're getting a dynamic score, Donovan Mitchell. You probably got, I mean, arguably the best backcourt in the East with that trade. And then you still get an elite interior defender and Jared Allen. And then for the Cavs, obviously there's been grumblings of Donovan Mitchell not resigning, not signing an extension, whatever. And then you still got the factor of it can Evan Mobley and Jared Allen coexist, two non-spacing bigs. And I think this is addressing kind of both deals. Obviously, you're getting a superstar back for Donovan Mitchell, one that could space the floor, still run the pick and roll, be an elite defender along with Evan Mobley. I think it just opens up the court. It allows Darius Garland to get the ball back in his hands, be that point guard. Probably, yeah, I mean, he probably averaged 10 assists a game in this offense. So what's your thoughts, guys? Bouncing.
I think it could be nice. It could also go south, I think, also very easily. So I think it's really just hope that it really works out for Garland, that he really likes playing with Joel, and that's the type of player he wants to be with. But I think Evan Mobley won't be as effective. Uh, again, with the ball touches, he's just playing the same basically role as Joel in the same
Well, I don't think
spot.
he needs more touches. No.
I don't know. He's just not going to get the shine anymore. It would just take away everything from Evan Mobley.
I mean, yeah, I mean that kind of
That's
stuff.
true. You really for both teams, you kind of replace one of your star young guys
Yeah,
with another guy. You know what I'm
it's
saying?
like
Like Mobley
just
gets
not
gonna get completely
there.
overshown
I
by
mean, so
Embiid,
this is
by
kind of like
Mitchell.
a patchwork deal, you know. Oh shoot, we might lose our superstar in Donovan Mitchell. Let's go get the MVP, Joel Embiid. And then the idea is, oh, we don't want to suck. Let's get a slightly younger star, or he's like 3 years younger. Let's get a slightly younger star that could still fill up the stat sheet. And then we keep that elite interior defense.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's kind of weird because there's no picks involved. That almost never happens. Also, another element to that deal is D'Anthony Melton coming to the Cavs, providing a good perimeter defense next to Darius Garland, which they don't have at the moment at the guard position. So I think that'd be interesting. All right. So this last one probably has the most moving pieces involved. It's probably the best trade for the Sixers. It's with the Oklahoma for the Sixers, yes.
Better than the Kings one.
Better than the Kings one.
What?
So you get Davis Bertans. This is with the Thunder. So you get Davis Bertans, big piece. Lou Dort, Josh Giddey, Usman Jane, 6 first-round picks.
So no bigs. I'd say for my boss, I think I take that.
What?
I
The,
think I take that.
for the Sixers?
Yeah, it's just for Joel.
Yeah, just for
I
Joel.
mean, the funny thing is the Thunder are like just so rich, like as far as like
Oh
draft
yeah,
capital. Like for them, like it's honestly like it's a lot, but like they almost just don't care.
yeah. I
They're
mean,
like, we've got more where that came from.
yeah. I was thinking about adding even more picks in, but I mean the Thunder just had so many. But for the Sixers, you're getting Davis Bertans, an elite player, obviously one of the top 5
Literally,
players.
he's just a
Elite
thrown out
shooter,
player. He's just there.
elite shooter, elite shooter.
Sometimes an elite shooter.
Yeah.
That's the only thing he does.
Yeah, Lou Dort, one of the best 3-and-D guys in the league. Josh Giddey, rising star. Usman Jane. I mean, he's one of the youngest players in the league. Good role player right now. He has potential to be something great. Then 6 first-round picks. 2 from the Clippers, 1 from the Rockets, 1 from Denver, and then 2 of their own. So you're getting a variety of teams picks, so a variety of outcomes if a team falls apart or injuries or whatever.
So this
I mean,
is
overall, there's not really anything you can complain about from the Sixers side, but
yeah.
maybe take out maybe a draft pick or a player and try to get Poku just so you can get some big. And he's young, and right now Poku hasn't been really working out that well for the Thunder anyway, so I don't really think they're holding on that much to him anyway. So you can probably make that adjustment pretty easy. But overall, I mean, like they can't really complain. And also, I feel like the Giddy addition for at least the Sixers is just another insane positive for them. just
Yeah.
because Maxi's a capable playmaker, and I think he'll excel that role if he needs to. But like that way, Giddy can really, I mean, like that's what he loves to do, and
Yeah.
Maxi can do his thing, and Melton can also like we've seen him be able to score in great ways, and then you also all those Giddy, in my opinion, I feel like he's overall just going to be also good for a lot of young talent they will draft in the future. Just kind
Mhm.
of like letting them kind of ease their way into it as he's able to make plays for them as well. So that's going to be, in my opinion, a very underrated pickup in that draft for the Sixers.
That's
And
that's
then
going to be beautiful for the Sixers. They are basically rebuilding, kind of like what I said. They keep still Tobias Harris in that case, but I think it would be great for that team. At that point, uh, I still think it's good for OKC. Or I don't want to say it's not good. I still think it's enough for what they're giving away. Uh,
yeah,
like Shea Gilgeous, his scoring will go down. I think.
that's
And they just won't have as many. They just don't have a future. I feel like as much. Chet Holmgren can't build as much into that center role as a starter. Uh, I don't know. I think you're just taking away opportunities for young
I
guys.
mean, I see it this way. You had two top five scorers last season on the same team. All still all the young guys they have, and still an insane draft capital. That's how I see it. But I want to hear the take from the Thunder side from the two Thunder fans.
so my rationale for it. I don't like in reality. Lou Dort's my favorite player. I don't want that trade to happen. But if it did, I would not be that mad because, like you said, we have two top five scorers on the same team. Joel Embiid's still a good defender. Like Valentin said, Chet can't grow into that center. That I think he's on the trajectory to become. But also,
Powerful would be nice. Yeah.
I don't think it would be that bad for Chet at the like as right now. I mean, we saw it against kind of Chicago. Obviously, it was his first game ever, so he was kind of getting, kind of it was kind of shell shocked out there. He was kind of clueless, but but he had a hard time, maneuvering with Vucevic and Drummond kind of pushing him around.
Yeah, that's
Obviously, he
true.
was fine
Drummond
against
is
the
like
Cavs.
Kyrie.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, like Evan Mobley couldn't really do anything against him, but Evan Mobley's not that big physical presence. So you get that with Joel Embiid, to kind of handle the Jokic's, the bigger guys like that, um, defensively. And then if you're the Thunder, you still got a lot of depth. You still keep Kenrich Williams, you still keep Aaron Wiggins,
And
still
Wallace.
Williams, Casey Wallace. There's a lot of guys that get input into the starting lineup that I think would still be pretty seamlessly. Or
So SGA, maybe
probably,
Case Wallace. Case
yeah,
Wallace,
probably Mason Wallace,
Keontae
J
Johnson.
Dub, Chet.
J-Dub, Chet, and Joe. I mean, that's a scary starting lineup,
That
man.
Or
is,
you
that
you
is.
could
Hey,
even put
Casey
in
Wallace,
Joe.
SGA, J-Dub, Chet, and Joel. And then you got some of your rotation guys would be
You got Kenrich Williams,
Say
Isaiah
Joe.
Joe,
Keontae Johnson could
yeah,
get a bigger role.
yeah,
J.
Aaron,
Will.
Aaron Wiggins, you know. What were you going to say, Marvin?
Oh yeah, I mean you can even put Isaiah Joe in for Case and Wallace and have Case and Wallace run the backup as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think the Thunder have enough depth where giving up, three big pieces, three big young pieces, I think would be okay. And obviously, you're still giving up those picks. They still got like five more first round picks. I mean, it's really insane the depth of their just their assets. It's really awesome. But if that happened I mean, I think the Thunder are still trying to take it slow. But if the Thunder, continue what they're doing and maybe get like a top 3, 4 seed in the West, I think this is a deal you should consider. Unless obviously this core can take you there, but we'll see.
Which I'm surprised no one said them, and I'm gonna say them right now. I know we just made the video of kind of just early, way too early in this season. What teams are we high on? OKC certainly should be on that list. The way I've seen, I haven't watched them play too much, but watched them play a little bit. But the way kind of just how they've looked,
Yeah,
their efficiency and their beating teams, they really have looked like they could be this year's Kings.
yeah,
That could really make on and not just a crazy, but like a pretty legit shot at a top three seed in the
yeah,
West. And that is I mean, without Joel, so maybe you don't want to mess with that, but at the same time, I mean, if you add Joel and keep a lot of the young guys, and that would certainly be a really, really interesting trade. And I think both sides don't really lose. Like this, both sides are pretty safe, is what I'm saying. I don't think either way there's really one side at the end of the day, like the Gobert trade, where you can be like, well, kind of maybe lost on that one. I
Yeah.
think both sides are going to be pretty set, not much risk.
My favorite part about OKC this year is how well they're defending. Shea was a good defender last year. He's only taken a step up. Obviously, he's leading the league in steals, which is it's still pretty early, but he's doing that. Chet, obviously, amazing shot blocker. I mean, the perimeter defense has been so good with SGA, J-Dub, and Dort, and then you get into and then say you get past them, and then you just got Chet waiting for you. It's a dynamic setup on defense. And then if you put Joel Embiid in there as well, it's just gonna be even harder. But
And
Yeah.
I'm curious though, Marvin, what's your take on Joel on the Thunder?
So obviously we mentioned everything. I mean, I don't think it'll hurt the Thunder in any way, but I personally, for the Thunder, I feel like I would prefer them just, I mean, all their guys are young. I don't think we're in the position yet to where we need to like trade for that guy to try to bring us there. I say we have great draft capital, we have great young guys. I say we just keep rolling what we have. I don't think it's necessarily worth giving up all that, which wouldn't hurt us too much, I think, but to try to just for Joel Embiid to like try to get us there when I think we can get there in the next 3 years with what we have.
well, so I think the rationale behind I'm trying to get in Sam Presti's mind here, but I think last time with he had the amazing young core of Russ, Harden, and KD, and he was too conservative. He had a chance to trade for Tyson Chandler when he was in his prime, but he declined, traded for Kendrick Perkins. I feel like he doesn't want to make the same mistake again where he's too conservative, and kind of waste a dynamic young core's potential. Obviously it's too early to try to make those
Yeah,
decisions,
I feel like it's
but
too early. I feel like they want to
for
wait
sure,
at least
for
one
sure.
or two.
I don't think this is a deal that happens this season or maybe even next off season, but I think it's a deal that could happen down the line for sure.
I think
And eventually OKC's got to pay their young guys. So they may have to. I mean, they got a lot of young guys to pay. So they're gonna have to consolidate a little bit.
and I think you're getting Joel, you're looking to win a championship within a year or two. Looking further down ahead, like with the draft picks that they have right now, and they're trying to build up that. Shea's just getting older at that point, and I would think slowly decreasing. So they won't have as much of the superstar Shea. I think at that point as much within 5 years, which that I think is what they're looking for is a championship in 5 years with their young core. They're really set then. They're ready to play. So I don't know if they would be even championship contenders at that point because Shea's not going to be at his highest point. I think Shea is at his highest point right now. So
Shea's only
He's still
25.
going.
He'll be there for another 6 years
Yeah.
at least.
And the thing I like about what OKC has right now too is once we get that championship roster in the next 3 to 5 years, our draft capital is so big that we can easily stay among the top team in the league for multiple years.
But
I mean,
it's like Deacon said, it's salary. You're gonna have to pay those guys eventually, and you have a lot of those
Yeah,
guys.
but eventually, once you really determine the guys you're using and the guys you're not, you cut out the guys you're not, and then if they like the environment too, they'll take pay cuts too. They won't be like, I want the super max every time with all their guys. If you like it there, you like what you have, you're willing
And they
to.
can afford to lose a few guys with the draft capital they have. Every once in a while, if the guy isn't exactly what they want, and he wants all the bags. Oh, go ahead and leave. We've got like 6 more draft picks next
I
season.
mean, we kind of saw that with Denver this offseason. There was, you lost Bruce Brown and Jeff Green because they didn't want to pay him, but they had a bundle of, they had a lot of second round picks, first round picks, and I think they kind of replenished that depth, and I think that's something OKC can keep doing down the line. Eventually you got to pay this guy. Oh, and now we got a first round pick to switch him out for. So
And proven to be pretty clearly overall good at analyzing talent drafting.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, Sam Presti, I think probably his best trait is how well he analyzes draft picks. Yeah, he doesn't have many misses. All right. So that's all I got. Unless you guys got something to add, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, like, follow the Instagram, follow the TikTok, and we'll see y'all later.